This is Tom with Fresh Vintage, and today we're at the O. Winston Link Museum in our hometown here. We're here checking out the awesome photos. You can see stuff like this. If you've never been, you definitely need to get here and check it out. We'll leave the link for this place in the video description. But today we're checking out the GoTrax Rival scooter. We picked this up recently. Great little scooter, and we're going to tell you some of the positives, some of the negatives, the things we like, we dislike. But before we do that, it's car show time. So let's take a look at the GoTrax Rival scooter. We're going to do a quick walk around of this guy. It has some interesting choices they made as far as like cuts to save money to hit the price point on this, but I'm okay with them, and I'll explain why as we go down the murals here, so to speak. This has a 250 watt motor, which sounds slower by comparison. There's other scooters we've tested that have 350 watt, 500 watt, but this still allows you to get up to 15 and a half miles an hour at a 12 and a half mile distance. Now that's at a 220 pound weight limit. I make that note because I'm a little over 220, and you can still go about 15 miles an hour on it, but you're definitely going to burn that battery up faster. So keep that 12 and a half miles distance at that speed. Take that with a big grain of salt. Has 8.5-inch air-filled tires. You know, these are pretty solid for what they are. We have some video of going over the bridge that we just came over to get here. So granted, this is an extreme circumstance. The lack of suspension is a little rough here, but on smoother surfaces, it's not too bad. Very, very nice air-filled tires, and they do a pretty good job. They're kind of like almost like a bouncy ball, like a basketball, if you will. So it obviously has a kickstand, pretty solid, durable kickstand. This is not a brake. It very much has a note right here: do not put your foot on it. You'd probably break that if you actually put your foot on it. Rear disc brakes only, so you can see your brake here. Has a very nice, there we go. And they do a pretty darn good job. I mean, if you're going 15 miles an hour and you hammer on the brakes, you're probably going to lock the wheel up. So don't be stupid, be smart, drive this thing safely, because you're driving a death skateboard with two less wheels with a metal handle. So have no like thought of safety on this. You got to be careful with these things. But all that to say, we have a very nice bell here. We do have cruise control right here. It's automatically built in, and the power button is right here, along with your charging ports. Your charging port does have a proprietary charger, and you can see I have 2 of 4 bars charging. Not much on here as far as speed. I think, yeah, there's no speed adjustments on this thing. You just push the button on, and then your headlights, press the red button once, you have headlight, and it does collapse. Let me actually show you the collapsibility, if that's a term. You just want to hit this button here, pull this out, and then you kind of have to two-hand it. So maybe leave the kickstand up so you don't get whacked in the head like I almost just did. Just bring it down, and it's relatively portable. I mean, a lot of these things, if I'm walking somewhere, and it's almost like luggage for me. I'm literally going to carry it like this. It's pretty light. I can't remember the exact weight. This feels like it's under 30 pounds. Most of our Segway scooters we have feel about this same weight capacity. And then to pop this open, this is the one thing that not 100% sold on, just because of the engineering here, but you kind of have to give this a little, there we go. That time it worked, but sometimes this plastic thing just doesn't want to cooperate. That time I was able to push it down far enough, but don't use this as a brake. You'll break your actual fender off here. So once you pop it up, locks in, and it's solid. I'll do it again. You'd have to try pretty hard to actually damage or break the mechanism. So I wanted to chat through some of the things that we like, and then we're going to jump over one more mural and check out the things that we dislike. This guy's pretty solid overall. They made some interesting choices as far as price cuts, and I'll talk a little bit more of those in the dislike section. But the actual ability for this thing to go 15 miles an hour at the up to 12 and a half miles distance, it's a pretty solid little basic scooter. I don't say basic in a bad way. They made some interesting choices here for price cuts, but I understand why they did it. One of the biggest things I like is this actual collapsing mechanism and the actual fold down. And just to compare it, we have a Segway F40 here. It's not a Ferrari, but it is a Segway scooter, an F40. And this collapsing mechanism works. By comparison, on the F40 here, you have to push this plastic orange ring, and then you have to push this all the way down to the bottom. And then this comes down. And don't get me wrong, it works. It's just, this is a little more like open and just a little bit looser, so to speak. And this one feels just a little bit tighter on the actual GoTrax. A couple other nice features. Obviously, it does have the headlight, the cruise control being built in by default so that you don't have to mess with an app and actually turn it on and off. It doesn't have any kind of lights or anything silly. Me as an adult, I just want transportation. I don't want silly lights. And we've done other scooters that have Bluetooth speakers in them. I'm not saying those are silly, but they're more for kids. Whereas this is probably something you as an adult, you're looking for a cheap, inexpensive scooter. This is, you just want something that's reliable and durable. So taking a look at the rear brakes, I'm going to bring the F40 back over here because you can see the diameter of the disc brake here is smaller than what's on the F40. Now, you always want bigger brakes, but I will make note that just this morning, by moving this down off the curb, we caught this disc brake on the curb and it's bent. Like you can see, look at the tire hanging right there. And we make that note because this disc brake, while it's a little smaller, it's going to be less likely. It still happen if you do it, but you really try, but it's less likely that'll happen with that smaller disc brake. So it's kind of a nice touch. So talking about some of the things we dislike here, you as an adult, you're going to, take care of this thing and you're going to be responsible with it, so to speak. But if you buy it for your kids, they might not be as responsible. And the reason I mention that is I feel like this plastic is cheap enough to where if I gave it a good hard yank, I could break that. I'm sure if I accidentally in a panic situation thought this was a brake and I slammed that with my foot, I'm cracking this plastic. I mean, you can see how much it flexes. Over enough time, this piece here may actually crack on you. Now, one of the other things that I'm not a big fan of, and let me grab the F40 to show you the comparison, is you can see on the actual brake mechanism, this wire is exposed. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing or a deal breaker, but you can see by comparison, not only is this wire fully coated and covered so you can't accidentally snag that, like say you accidentally catch it with your knee or something while you're driving or riding it, but the stock actually encloses and houses the brake handle and wiring here, the actual cable. So very nice touch there from Segway. And that's not a deal breaker on this thing. I mean, these are some of the price cuts that we talk about. And just to take a moment, I'm not trying to throw shade on Walmart, but Walmart routinely asks their vendors to come up with a price conscious version of any given product, whether it's a TV, scooter, cell phone, whatever it is. So these are the kind of things where they make these cuts and they have no suspension on this, but they put the air filled tires on it. No Bluetooth app, so there's no Bluetooth technology and parts and pieces to drive up the cost on this for GoTrax. Now, I'll leave it up to you in the comments section if you think those are bad things or good things. I mean, it's a basic functional unit, 15 miles an hour. I'm a little over 220 pounds, like I said earlier in the video. It's a great get you around town scooter at a great price point. Leave us a comment. Do you like this thing? Do you want to buy one? Or do you think maybe you want to get your hands on something like the Segway F40 here? Just to wrap up the video, we have a video on this guy. We have a video on a Segway ES2. We even have one on a basic version. It's almost Segway's answer to this, a very basic, simplistic scooter called the Segway ES1L. We'll leave the links for all those videos in the description of the video you're watching right now for the scooter. So to wrap up the video here, the shots of the murals you've been seeing in the background is the David Ramey mural. If you're in the greater Roanoke area, or if you're coming to Roanoke, definitely check them out. We'll leave a link for this location in the video description. This is actually the east side of Henry Street mural here. So really, really cool to see the work that was put into these. Wrapping up the video with the GoTrax unit, it's a really solid scooter. They did make some interesting choices. Now, I say interesting, you may like them, you may hate them, but leave us a comment. Would you buy one of these? If you're thinking of buying one, which one are you going to buy? And we'll also leave those Segway scooter, the F40, the ES2, the ES1L, and so on. We'll leave the links for those video descriptions in the one you're watching right now. With that, we appreciate you watching. If you like classic cars, if you like muscle cars, if you like scooter tech, Fresh Vintage Your channel, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.